Thank you. Over to you, Sarla.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So that was my son, Arsh. Yeah. So moving ahead. Thank you all the children. Thank you so much. Your participation and enthusiasm that really helped to build confidence in Arsh. Thank you. And moving to our next part, we are having host today, and ma'am, actually, when I look at your biodata, I was so impressed. Thank you for being here. You are so beautiful today. Yeah. Welcome, ma'am. Before handing over to you, I would like to introduce you here. Actually, it is really impressive when you see such a qualified person and still into Buddhism and Ambedkarism. And she put so much of things. When I read it through, I would like to share it with you. Ma'am is MBBS MD. She is a gynecologist, and she also does PGD, that is postgraduate diploma in socially engaged Buddhism, and also postgraduate diploma in Ambedkar and Buddhism. And she worked really I mean, the best profiles I saw. She was director, she was associate professor, she was specialist, and now she's a consultant. And in Mumbai, she based in Mumbai. Other than that, people, she is activist actually. She is active in the Payal Tadvi case, which is really disturbing case for whole India, and she is a part of that case. She is active and actively involved in social and educational religious activities. She is also participation in she is helping people in atrocity cases. She is working for propagation of Buddhism from last 20 years. That is amazing. And she is actively participate in Dhamma conferences. So welcome, ma'am. Thank you so much for being here. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Sarla, for such a wonderful talk about me. And thank you very much. Cute kids are very amazing. Will you make Aditya host? Actually, he is already host.
Yeah, we can see the screen. Aditya, do you mind if we can put the full screen slideshow?
माझं script. You make my original script.
Yeah, we can see the screen, but if you can make the full screen, that will be great. Yeah. That will. Thank you.
माझा audio बंद होता. माझा audio बंद होता.
No, we can hear.
It is on.
It is on. Yeah, it is on. We can
okay, sorry. Jai Bhim, Namo Buddhaya. Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you clearly. Yeah.
First of all, I am very much thankful to Ambedkar Association of North America, specifically Mr. Mahesh Vasnik, for giving me the opportunity to speak on Sunday online Buddha Vihara. It is really great to know that ANA has been conducting online Sunday Buddha Vihara since 2010. Reverend Bhante Sri Shivali, Mr. Mahesh Vasnik, Sarla, and all online and offline brothers and sisters. My topic of presentation is Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar's journey to Buddhism. There is always confusion in Ambedkarites and non-Ambedkarites as to how Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar turned to the Buddha, why did he embrace Buddhism, why did he take so long to embrace Buddhism, and so on. In the unpublished preface of the book, The Buddha and His Dhamma, Dr. Babasaheb cleared all these doubts. In his preface, he writes that 2 questions were always asked to him: how he happened to take such a high degree of education, and why he was inclined towards Buddhism. He gives the answer to the second question in the preface. He tells an interesting story as to how he was led to study Buddhism and how he turned to the Buddha. His father was a military officer, but at the same time, a very religious person. He brought up under strict discipline. From an early age, Bhim found certain contradiction in his father's religious way of life. His father himself was a Kabirpanthi and did not believe in idol worship, and yet he performed Ganpati Puja. He used to compel young Bhim and his elder brother to read every day before going to bed a portion of Mahabharata and Ramayana to his sisters. It went for a long period of time. Then Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar actual journey to Buddhism started after Dadasaheb Keuskar presented his book, Biography of the Buddha, to young Bhim in 1909. This book had a profound impact on Dr. Babasaheb. It so happened that Dr. Babasaheb passed the matriculation examination and was the first boy from our community to reach this stage. Hence, our community people wanted to celebrate this occasion by holding a public meeting to congratulate him. Dada Keuskar, a personal friend of his father and literary person of that time, presided. And at the end of his address, he presented young Bhim his book, Biography of the Buddha. Babasaheb read the book with great interest and was greatly impressed and moved by it. Then he started comparing qualities of the Buddha with those of the figures in Mahabharata and Ramayana and began to ask his father why he did not introduce them to the Buddhist literature. Young Bhim told his father that he did not like any of the figures in the Mahabharata and Ramayana. According to him, Bhishma, Drona were hypocrites. They said one thing and did the quite opposite. Krishna's life was nothing but a series of frauds. Equal dislike he had for Rama because of his conduct in Shuparnika and Vali Sugriv episode and his beastly behavior towards Sita. His father was silent and made no reply. He knew that there was a revolt. This is how Dr. Babasaheb turned to the Buddha with the help of the book given to him by Dada Keuskar. It was not with an empty mind that young Bhim went to the Buddha at that early age. I want to say that at this age only he studied, he could do the comparative study of the Hindu religion and Buddhism. Then, next slide. In March 1927, Mahad Satyagraha or Saudartale Satyagraha was led by Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar to allow untouchables to use water in a public tank in Mahad, Raigad district of Maharashtra. Dr. Babasaheb in his speech addressed our people that the Satyagraha was not merely to drink water from the tank, but it was for establishing their human rights. At the end of the speech, he told his poorly clad and illiterate audience, no lasting progress can be achieved unless we put ourselves through a process of purification. We must improve the general tone of our behavior, retune our utterance, and revitalize our thoughts. That is the Buddha's teaching. Kaya, Vacha, and Manachi Shuddhi. Purification of body, speech, and mind. The day 28th March is observed as Social Empowerment Day in India. The next day after the conference, Babasaheb visited Mahad Buddhist caves. Then, in 1934, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar built a house in Hindu colony, Dadar, Mumbai, and named it after Rajgruha, the place where Buddha spent 25 rainy retreats, Vasa, out of 45. Dr. Babasaheb set up a private library on the first floor of this 3-story Rajgruha mansion. His library was one of the world's largest library with over 50,000 books on different subjects. Then on 30th October 1935, at the Yevla Nashik conference, Dr. Babasaheb declared that he was born as a Hindu but will not die as a Hindu. But he did not reveal which religion he was going to embrace at that time. It was because he had a huge task to accomplish, nothing less than eradication of untouchability and transformation of Indian society. He wanted personal and social transformation through Buddha's teachings. On 31st May 1936, in Bombay Presidency, Dadar, Mumbai, Dr. Babasaheb delivered a famous speech. We all must be knowing it. On what way liberty? Mukti kon pathe. At the end of his speech, Dr. Babasaheb gave a message to our people by quoting Mahaparinibban Sutta, where the Buddha gives discourse to Ananda on be your own light. Be self-illuminating like a lamp. Don't be dependent for light like the earth. Don't be a satellite. Be a light unto thyself. Believe in self. Don't be dependent on others. Be truthful. Always take refuge in the truth and do not surrender to anybody. Finally, Dr. Babasaheb said to the audience that I also take your leave in the words of the Buddha. Be your own guide. Take your refuge in reason. Do not listen to the advice of others. Do not succumb to others. Be truthful. Take refuge in truth. Never surrender to anybody. If you keep in mind this message of Lord Buddha at this juncture, I am sure your decision will not be wrong. On 10th June 1936, Italian Buddhist monk Loknath visited Babasaheb's residence at Dadar, Mumbai, and tried to persuade him to embrace Buddhism. Later, in an interview with the press, monk Loknath said that Babasaheb was impressed with Buddhism and that his own ambition was to convert all Dalits to Buddhism. In 1937, Reverend Loknath published a pamphlet, Buddhism Will Make You Free, dedicated to the depressed classes of India, from his press in Ceylon. Subsequently, he wrote a letter to Babasaheb Ambedkar mentioning the solitary picture of the Buddha in his room. In 1941, Dr. Babasaheb gave a Mahamantra to establish democracy in India. Buddham Saranam Gacchami, Dhammam Saranam Gacchami, Sangham Saranam Gacchami. In 1945, 8 July, Dr. Babasaheb founded the People's Education Society, which conducts Dr. Ambedkar College of Law, Mumbai. The society derives its inspiration from the teachings and ideals of the Gautam Buddha, that is, ideals of knowledge, compassion, democracy, equality, and ideal of justice. His primary aim is to promote higher education among the poorest people in general and Buddhist, scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, and other backward classes in particular. According to Dr. Babasaheb, the object of the People's Education Society was not merely to give education, but to create social democracy. In 1946, he established Siddhartha College in Mumbai. In 1948, he wrote an introduction to the reprint of the book, The Essence of Buddhism by P. Lakshminarsu. P. Lakshminarsu also written Buddhism on scientifically, like Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. In May 1950, he included recitation of Om Mani Padme, Be Your Own Light, in his Buddha Puja part. Then, in May 1950, Babasaheb wrote an article on Buddha and future of his religion, in which he advised 3 steps to spread Buddhism. To produce a Buddhist Bible, as Buddhist literature is too vast. There are 3 Tipikas, and it is very difficult to go through the literature of Buddhist literature. So he advised this Buddhist Bible, and he wrote the book Buddha and his Dhamma. Then the second aim was to make changes in the organization of the Bhikkhu Sangha. And third, to set up a world Buddhist mission. These were the 3 steps to spread Buddhism. Then in June 1950, Dr. Babasaheb attended the World Fellowship of Buddhist Conference in Ceylon. In this conference, he delivered a speech on rise and fall of Buddhism in India. In 1951, he founded Milind Mahavidyalaya at the Naksen 1 campus in Aurangabad. The campus was named after Greek king Milind and learned Bhante Naksen. King used to hold various debates and Bhante Naksen used to win. Once King Milind asked Bhante Naksen Reasons for religious decline. Bhante Naksen gave following 3 reasons. If religion is immature and the basic principles have no depth, then religion languishes. The second reason he gave, no learned men to spread religion. Learned men should preach religious wisdom. If the propagandists of a religion are not ready to hold discussions with opponents, the religion will die. Third reason he gave, religion and religious philosophy are only for the learned. For common ordinary people, there are temples and shrines. If they learn supernatural power in temple, then religion languishes. In May-June 1951, Dr. Babasaheb wrote an article on the rise and fall of Hindu women. From 1951, he started writing the book, The Buddha and His Dhamma. On 3rd October 1954, he wrote an article on My Philosophy of Life. He writes that my social philosophy is enshrined in 3 words, liberty, equality, and fraternity. I have not borrowed my philosophy from the French Revolution, but I have derived them from my master, the Buddha. On 4th December 1954, Dr. Babasaheb delivered a speech to the Buddhist Session, Burma. He spoke that if Burma wants to spread Buddhism outside its country, then India is the first country they should make their efforts, because India is the birthplace of Buddhism and it flourished for 2000 years. In other countries, there are long established religions, and Buddhism would be regarded as an intruder without a passport. So far India is concerned, the Buddha needs no passport nor visa. On 14th October 1956, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar embraced Buddhism along with 5 lakh followers at the hands of Reverend Bhante Mahad Chandramani at Diksha Bhumi, Nagpur. Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar gave Dhamma Diksha to the followers by administering Trisharan, Panchashil and 22 oaths. On 14th October 1956, he delivered conversion speech to the newly converted Buddhists. At the end of the speech, while giving the final message to our people, he said, your responsibility is great. Your action should be such that other people will honor and respect you. Do not believe that this religion means we have got stuck with an albatross around our neck. The Indian earth today is of no account as far as Buddhism is concerned. We should be determined to observe the Buddhist religion in the best way. It should not happen that the Mahar people would bring Buddhism to a low stage. We should make a firm decision. If we accomplish this, then we save ourselves, we save our country, and not only that, but the world also. Then on 12th May 1956, he gave a talk to BBC London in which 2 questions were asked to him. Why I like Buddhism and how useful it is to the world in its present circumstances. Dr. Babasaheb said that all other religions bother about God and soul and life after death. Buddhism teaches prajna, shil, karuna and samta. While giving answer to the second question, Dr. Babasaheb said that there is turn of the mind of the Buddhist countries in Southeast Asia towards communism. But Buddhism is a complete answer to Marx and his communism. On 20th November 1956, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar delivered his talk on Buddha or Karl Marx at World Buddhist Conference, Kathmandu. In the speech, he said that the ways and means to recognize dukkha and abolition of property by Karl Marx or communists is by violence and killing of the opposed. The Buddha's means of persuading people to adopt the principles is by persuasion, by moral teaching, by love. According to the Buddha's doctrine, love and not power can conquer anything. On the late night of the 5th December 1956, Dr. Babasaheb wrote the preface of the book, The Buddha and His Dhamma, and took his last breath on the early morning of 6th December 1956 at his Delhi residence. This was the journey of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. But we know that the life of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar was nothing but struggle, and nothing but the struggle. That too, single-handedly without worrying about his own health. We, the intellectual class of society, must work hard, at least for the education of the downtrodden of India. Because in India, privatization of education has made education out of reach of poor people. Without education, particularly higher education, our existence is not safe. We know that Anna has been conducting many social activities during Corona time. There was great financial support to this society from Anna. Also, Vandana Sangha Diksha Bhumi Nagpur received financial support to reprint the book, The Buddha and His Dhamma. I purchased many copies of it from Vandana Sangha and distributed to many. This book is very compact, and unlike Babasaheb Ambedkar writing speeches, volume 11, index is not missing in it. See, in that writing and speeches book, only this table of contents is there, and this inside nothing is there. Means book 1, book 2, and then there are parts, various parts, part 1, part 2, and subsections also with the name of the topics. This is missing in the volumes, volume 11. So this book is very compact, and I always carry a copy of this book wherever I go. Thanks a lot for listening patiently. Jai Bhim. Thank you very much again.
Thank you, ma'am, for enlightening us with the story, because everyone wants, everyone should, not only Buddhist, but everyone should know the journey and the struggles. In simple words you put together.
माझं नाव घे.
Yeah. Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yes, you can.
So I guess many people have questions for you.
Yeah.
Please raise your hand and unmute to ask your questions.
Ma'am, again, thank you very much for a very insightful presentation, and it's a lot of information that you shared. The one quick question I have, because there is a lot of confusion during the conversion ceremony held in the Diksha Bhumi. Some people said it is 5 lakh people attended, some people said it's 7 lakh people attended, and some numbers are very randomly projected everywhere. Is it recorded any number that people took the Diksha? Are you able to hear me? I just want to make sure.
It is around 5 lakh people. They attended the Dhamma Diksha Vidhi.
Okay. Because yesterday there was a call, and I attended that call also, and some one of the scholar mentioned around 7 lakh number. So I think so. We just have to find the history where it is recorded, that number, so that it cannot be projected wrongly.
They were not 7 lakh, but around 5 lakh.
I see. Thank you. You can raise your hand. Any questions on the topic that ma'am shared with us today?
Ma'am, I have a question. Sarla
Yes.
here.
Yeah.
As you have stated that Babasaheb discussed it with Banteji, that he wants to convert Dalits specifically to the Buddhism. So it was like, Babasaheb consider us because we need to upliftment of that. Do you have any some stories which can be helpful for us to understand? Dalit has been converted to this, and they, because that time Dalits was not educated as Babasaheb to understand the things. Then what was the story behind this? If you can put it in a simple thing.
No, it was in his mind only. He did not reveal that he is going to embrace Buddhism at any time in his life. But from the various speeches and various activities he has taken, he has written articles. Just now I told you, and the house he built, he gave a name to his house, Rajgruha, Siddhartha College he established. From all these evidences, we come to know that it was in his mind from the childhood only. He only wrote in the preface of unpublished preface of the book everything.
Okay.
That unpublished preface of the book you can read from the Columbia University website. He has cleared these doubts. He has written that when Babasaheb presented him the copy of the biography of the Buddha, then he read that book, and then since that period only, at the young age only, he started reading Buddhism, Dhamma. He was greatly moved by the biography of the Buddha, and he already knew Ramayana and Mahabharata because his father used to compel them to read every day, every night. So he started comparison of the Hindu religion and Buddhism from that young age only. So just now I mentioned all the years on in which year he has done, and wherever he had given speeches in like Mukti Kon Pati, then he always gave message of the Buddha at the end of his speech. You see, so
Right.
we can read his mind from his social life, but he did not reveal. Openly, he did not say because he had many tasks to do,
Right.
like eradication of untouchability and political and social, educational, and poor people, when they were illiterate, they were not in position to accept directly the Buddhism, although they were very honest. But Dr. Babasaheb did not want them to accept blindly because he was saying he
Yes.
wanted to change their mind and understand why they are doing conversion. For that only he gave in such a long speech, 2 hour speech, Mukti Kon Pathe, what way liberty.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. One more question I have for you. As you are so well settled, well educated, what makes you turn to study about Buddhism and Babasaheb in so deep?
Uh, I don't know, but I was in Nagpur, so there is Ambedkarites are there very staunch, and there was library near my house, and he had kept this Buddha and his Dhamma book in his library. Mr. Gondani, his name was. So one day I read that book, this Buddha and his Dhamma, and then I like very much that book. Means throughout means when I was doing my government service at government medical college, I was lecturer, senior lecturer for 10 years. But at that time, I did not get time for doing social work. Then after that, I started my maternity home. Then I got some time to do social work, reading and everything. And then since then, I started studying Buddhism.
Oh,
Means at early age, at 37, 38.
wow. So many years. You put so
Yeah.
many years. Because I see very few people here. I mean, from your background, haven't seen many people who are working for the cause which is required nowadays. Thank you so much for being there.
Yeah, and besides that, I was interested in doing atrocity cases also
Oh,
in Nagpur with Vandana Sangha Diksha Bhumi Nagpur. Wherever there were atrocity in MP also, Madhya Pradesh, there was incident like Khairlanji. Then I used to take the Vandana Sangha people and fight for the case. And
you work on ground also?
yeah, I did groundwork.
Wow, impressive. I'm also
And currently also, I have been involved in the Dr. Payal Tadvi case. 2019 it was. But still, her mother is in my contact. She always calls me whenever there is a court proceeding. I go with her because no one is there now with her
Oh,
to accompany in the court also.
and ma'am, what is the experience when you are struggling for the people welfare and or for the cases, atrocity cases? What do you experience and what do you find? They are getting justice or there's
Oh,
cases?
yeah, it is very difficult. They have a lot of mental trauma they have to go through. And the entire system in India is against our community, minority. And judiciary is not an exception to this.
Oh,
They take so long to give decision and with power, money, everything usually. But in this case, the results are good in Dr. Payal Tadvi case because the 3 accused doctors were behind jail for 3 months. And now also charge framing is done. Everything is going is quite on the right way in Dr. Payal Tadvi case. And this police investigation also, they have done very perfectly. And they are our police, the IO and all, they are working honestly in this case.
okay, great. Ma'am, we have few questions on chat. I do like to read it for you. This is asked by Aniket Mishram, sir, as his mic is not working. He's asking any thoughts on what reasons lead Babasaheb to bestow us as Navayana, also referred to as New Buddhism, form of Buddhism, and not Mahayana or Theravada.
Actually, Nayana, he did not say that he is going to form new sect like Nayana, but he wanted he did not want traditional Buddhism, in which there is karma and rebirth, means past life affecting the present life. He wanted Buddhism based on science, and it should based on knowledge and without superstition, supernaturalism. And he had taken everything from the Tripitaka only, but he reinterpreted in his own way based on science, scientific Buddhism. It is not new thing he has done. He said that it is a compilation of all, but a little bit interpretation, whatever he wanted. It is not a new thing. Navayana is not a new sect, I mean, because in the evening of the Dhamma Diksha Day, that is on 13th October, journalist asked him which yana you are going to embrace, Mahayana or Hinayana. So Babasaheb said, casually he said that I want to accept Navayana, you can say. But he did not mean that he has established any new thing, new sect. It is same, but he did not want the rebirth theory. He did not accept. And introduction of the Buddha and his Dhamma, he cleared all these wrong misunderstanding. That karma theory means it is told that whatever karma you have done in the past, they will affect your present life. Means the Brahmins who they have established this Hinduism, and caste division in the society. So they want that we should not rise from our present status. We should live in that status only. And so they have created this theory of karma. So we don't accept this karma theory, positive. Whatever karma actions we do in the present life, we, their effect will be seen in the present life only. There is no future or past life like this. We have to believe in the present life only. And he did not want that we should rely on the God or any third agency. He wanted we should be and we should be your own light. His message was that.
It means Om Mani Padme Hum.
Yeah, be your own.
Yeah. Aniket sir saying thank you for your explanation. Okay. And ma'am, if as you are giving lectures to adult people, is there any message for the kids who can understand through this? I mean, Buddhism and Babasaheb.
For the kids, we can tell the childhood story of Dr. Babasaheb. And we can tell the Buddha stories. There are small, the books are also there for the kids to read. We can tell them the story to them, how to share the love, kindness to other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jatak stories, like Aniket sir is saying Jatak stories.
Jatak stories, but they are little bit superstition is there.
Right. Yeah, I saw. Pretty mixed up stories because what I searched on internet, that stories are most of the magics is happening over there.
Yeah, we should tell them stories of Babasaheb and Buddha only. Childhood stories.
Yes. Right. So, ma'am, if recently we are looking at the scenario of India and you're working on the ground, so many difficulties you might have been facing for the things what extremists are doing. So, is there any experience you would like to share with us?
See, our people are doing the social work, but they are doing at the individual level or creating some small groups, and they are not united. So it is very difficult to achieve any goal. This is the problem in our community people. There is no unity. Everybody is thinking that I am leader and doing his work in his own way. There is no communication of one group or one party with each other, and like they fight among ourselves only, and they don't have a specific goal. They don't work in communication. That is main problem. Otherwise, uh, if there is unity, then all the problems can be solved.
Right. But as we think about the things to overcome the problem, what we are talking about now, that everybody wants to be leader and nobody wants to follow anybody. So that problem might have been overcome by the next generation.
Yeah, some next generation, if new personality, generation from young generation is there, and
And
with
I'm asking it
broader views and aims. Huh? Yes.
why I'm asking, because you have so much of experience being working on ground, working with the adult people, working with the different types of people, those who are facing different problems. So finding solution from you will be easy for us, those who are thinking of doing something for the community, because I feel myself, we have already got a purpose of our life being Ambedkarite, that we have to work for the upliftment of people, those who are in the situation who can't help themselves. So when we are having the purpose, then still we are divided. So you might have some solution which can work on, we can work on, and pass it on to next generation, that they will overcome these things.
Yeah, we should have our own political party also, united efforts, and then uh, our members should be there in parliament to speak on behalf of us, because otherwise it is very difficult. No one is there to talk and to face the problems and present the difficulties our community is facing, because there are lot of problems. Education, then there is no justice, then there is poverty, everything is there. But no, the other leaders do not speak about this problem. They want only votes from our community and nothing else.
Right. Right. So ultimately, we have to be in power to make changes.
Yeah, because there should be unity and then be in power.
Right. Right. Thank you. Uh, Anyone has any question if would like to ask? This one question, or I don't know. Social educationist is saying that, good evening, ma'am. I would like to interact with you on the same for future generations. I mean, the person, I don't know his name or her name, but she would like to work with you.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
And if anyone has a question, please raise your hand or unmute and ask.
Hi, this is Ashok, and I have one question regarding the books.
Hmm.
So basically, for Christian has a Bible and Hindu has a Gita. So for Buddhism, which one book we should refer?
The Buddha and his Dhamma.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This book I always carry with me wherever I. And each and every page, each and every sentence, and each and every word is important in this. It is like our Dhamma Grantha. We should read and read daily. And every time we feel as if it is a new concept, we are learning from it. Because Babasaheb has written it in a very concise way. We have to extract the things, we have to get through it, we have to understand, we have to contemplate in it.
Okay. Thank you. And I have another
Besides
question.
this, Babasaheb has advised revolution and counter-revolution and Karl Marx, Buddha or Karl Marx.
Okay, thank you. I have another question regarding the Babasaheb journey from childhood until his death. He did a pretty good work on Buddhism and the caste. So, which book you are recommending to read or to give us our kids so that they can understand our caste and Babasaheb journeys?
In this book also, Babasaheb has given caste and uh, religion, comparative study of the other religion also, Hindu religion mainly. And for other, for kids as such, there are no books like of their level. But we can, after reading the Babasaheb volumes, so we can tell in our language to them, because it is difficult to understand the Babasaheb literature for the children unless the story is written in the story form. But from Buddha and his Dhamma book, you can tell very easily the message of Buddha and Babasaheb to children.
Is there any book available on Babasaheb's autobiography?
Babasaheb has written his biography, Atma Charitra.
Okay. So what's the name of that book?
I think it is Atma Charitra only. I have not read that, but he has written.
Okay.
And Dhananjay Kir's book is there. He has written his biography. Dhananjay Kir.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Madam, I am having one question.
Yes.
Can I raise, madam?
Yes, yes.
Madam, there are many Buddhists in our country, but
Hmm.
still they are not openly coming out and showing that they are Buddhist.
Mm-hmm.
What
Yes.
is this behind their mind that is preventing them to declare themselves as Buddhist? In government offices also they are hiding
Hmm. Because
that they
there
are.
is still a inferiority complex in their mind. They are yet to come out of the Hindu mentality, and they must not be knowing. They have not studied Buddhism, and they don't understand the value of Dhamma, Buddhism. And they are little bit afraid that if we go against their colleagues, Hindu people, then they will be boycott, something like that in their mind. So they want to be friendly with them by not following our own religion, Dhamma, Buddhism, and they hide.
But even if they are doing this way, still they are getting kick.
Yeah, they don't understand
Yes.
that. Whatever they do, still these people don't change. They do whatever they like.
So in what way this fear psychosis can be eliminated from their mind?
Uh, for by discussion only, by communication only. We cannot force anyone to behave this way or that way. They only should understand the why Babasaheb embraced Buddhism, and unless they study and practice, they will not understand.
Okay, thank you, madam.
Mahesh sir, nobody's asking questions.
So we can conclude the session. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for being here and enlightening
Thank
us.
you.
Yeah, about the Buddhism and Babasaheb. Yes, many of us would like to work on. We are working in literally like small groups, but collective our work will be amplified, I guess. So we will think about and make a plan to amplify it. And thank you so
Yeah,
much.
particularly in educational field like school, colleges, the collective work from your side, it will be very appreciated.
Right. I guess one person is having question. Yes, you can ask, please.
Good evening, all. Myself, Dr. Bharat Madke. I think Alka ma'am and I have spoken a lot about education. Probably this is the core side which every one of this is interested quite in education. But I don't see any concrete plan according to the present need. There are two, 3 points which I want to make you aware of. First, if you see cost of the education right now in the cities and in the talukas and at the village level. Probably in cities, the cost goes around 3 lakhs rupees per annum for a student, probably for the secondary education. Let's go with that particular thought. And if we are going at the taluka level, it goes around close to 75 or 60,000. And for this particular reason, I want to bring to your notice that uh, many of our Buddhist people are selling up their farmland, which is an alarm. Probably, I have noticed this in one of the small talukas in Bhandara. If you have any connection there, I want to just give an example. There is a group of school and chain of school which run across very meticulously across the country. Probably there are many brands now which are upcoming with respect to their analysis. They try to convince, and many of our well qualified, high to do people in our society, children are not that school, probably, to take out the records and everything. Uh, I don't know why there is not a thought process of something that we are so empowered by the thoughts of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. We are so thoughtful about him. We speak him every now and then. We think of every moment of him and we oblige him whatever he has given to us. But uh, I have not seen very meticulously educated class coming forward to make up a good, innovative schools across the nation. This is something which we are lagging until and unless we target school. Uh, as I've read revolution and counter revolution, we will not be able position to have a political approach with them if you are not countering them at an early age. So our students or our people should understand this. The education still remain the core basis of everything, and that has to be cultivated right from the school. So probably many of our people who are still working as an low paid wages, probably who are doing staff safai work in BMC or something like that, their children go to schools where they pay good amount of money, but they do not have any future. Why? Because the trustee of the school does not have a vision. They are just focused towards the mind, taking the fees. The children goes to the school. That is not given to give him an vision. It's just going there. Only social interaction and social development is being a part there. We have we need to have a concrete plan if we really want to uplift our society as we are uplifted by our efforts or something like that, or someone has put in a lot of efforts behind us. We are the one current generation who has to backfire or be back at the students who are uh, upcoming students probably. So I think this will remain a very what you call it as very cause until unless we enter into a field of education. Probably you see all maybe you have heard about Catholic schools, right? A group of Catholic schools, or maybe one of two of very high standard potential schools in India, which produce very frequent IIT results, NEET results, or MBA results, or something like that. I don't find any anyone anyone till date. Okay, I've attended online meeting, offline meeting. I try to communicate at Viharas also. I go and speak out there, but there is something which we are lagging as a team, or we just speak verbally more rather than action, which I feel. I may be wrong because I'm too small at your at par whatever experience you have got. But whatever my personal experiences are, I have spoken to many of the sweepers here in my local community and across Mumbai. Wherever I go, I try to interact with them. They say we are not in a position to afford a fee, for example, of a good school. So I don't know why we are not coming up with a good concrete of people who can actually plan up, build up, okay, clear the school what we require. I'm not saying it do it for free for sure, because there is whenever there is a mass communication, at least let us take an example, Podar International School, if it is. So probably the school which is located in the Bhandara, it is around 5 kilometers from the whole set of taluka. Still, the people are dying to go there just because of the brand. They know they are not aware whether the child who is entering. I am so sorry. I need to connect it back once again. So they are not aware ki probably whether the child is going to make a good particular career or not. But still, because we are not in a position to deliver them anything. So they don't have any option because we don't have any futuristic school. We are following the same traditional old method. our students should be spark. Our students should know what they should be doing in the future at early age. We should not give them an opportunity at the later age. Probably that has happened to me also. Maybe I was very much late of aware of the all field. But today is a time where machine learning is one of the important things. Robotics is one of the major important things. These roots have to be encountered so that our social development happens at a better pace than any other what you call it as community or society. So I want some support from you people where I can speak more on this in detail with respect to the all data and everything, so that you people understand why it is necessary that we have to be one of the league members of opening school, because without Shika Sangatitva and Sangarsha Kara, it is Shika first. It is Shika first. So we have to have those people behind our children thinking mind if we want to really counter this political social agenda. Without that, we are not going to stand anywhere. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for the time. Yeah.
We support the schools which are already established by our community people, like Nalanda Academy.
Yes.
We are supporting. And Dr.
Yes, I have already spoken, ma'am, with respect to sir many a times, but he is taking care people. He is taking care of the student from 12 to further education. I am speaking from a age of junior KG to 12th standard. So that is a phase where we can actually make the children a bright student. He is playing on a different role where he is being a guidance and mentor for an higher education. But my core is like I want to work on this phase which has been not touched.
Yeah, in Bhandara, Dr. Satish Shambarkar is there. He has 5 schools for the SC, ST and OBC community. And his work is good. So we find such schools where, and we support them financially. Because at least if we cannot open the school, we should support whoever has already started this work. But definitely we have to again think of starting new school from primary to 12th standard.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir, for putting the important question. At least we can think over it, and next time we can have a plan.
Yes.
Yeah, we can wrap it up. Yeah.
So thank you all of you for attending Vihara. And this is every single Sunday. It is really enlightening to have a discussion and intellectual like ma'am today. So we can get a path where to move on and what is right for us. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being here. And thank you, Mahesh sir. Thank you, Kranti ma'am. See you all of you next week on Sunday. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my sir.
No problem. Thank you for joining and giving your time, valuable time here. Thank you. See you next week.